So now that we've written an application that converts a number from one number system to another by clicking on a button, now let's try to write another application that converts a series of characters over to the ASCII code equivalent. What I mean by this is that the capital P here is in ASCII is this series of ones and zeros right there. And the lowercase h is the series of ones and zeros here. This is the ASCII code equivalent. So each one of these letters, including the space and the and symbol, is represented by a series of ones and zeros. So anytime you click a capital P on your keyboard, it sends this series of ones and zeros to your CPU. So we're going to be writing some code. We'll have most of the code right here for you. But what we're going to do is build upon what we had written before. You see that it has the same kind of structure, same kind of table structure. Even the convert button is right there. So let's go over to our mobile editor and create a new application. So I'm going to the main menu. I'm going to create an application. And let's see, the application we said needed to be called Characters to ASCII. So I'm going to paste that name right in here to the title box and click Create App. And then if I edit it, I pretty much have a blank canvas here. But what I can do is kind of take code snippets, or maybe just all of the code from my other application, and then just modify it to fit my needs. Going back to the main menu, and then editing the number conversion application, I can select all of this HTML and JavaScript, copy it, going back to the main menu, and then editing the character to ASCII application and hitting paste here. If I hit save, well, really what I've done is I have an application called this, but it's got the wrong code in there. But let's fix that. Let's take the title and put it right over here on top of number of conversions like that. And you can see that really all that will do is change the title of the app, maybe at the top of the web browser, but what we want to do is change it right here. And remember that that is in the table. So here's the table tag, the opening and closing table tags, and there's number conversion right there. So let's paste over the top of that. And it looks like I missed the greater than symbol right there. Overwrote that, so there we go. All right, so what else do we got to do? We got to have some label name characters in this cell, but then a text box that we can type into that says physics and engineering there. All right, so going over here, I see the word decimal is right here. And wait, I just typed over the same thing. It's supposed to be characters right there. Characters, and then I don't know. I think I'll just leave it as des, even though it doesn't have necessarily the same meaning. Instead of 255, I need to put a single quote open and then type in physics and engineering. And it's okay that the word wrap takes place. Notice I ended with a single quote like that. Clicking save, you can see that it looks very much like the model that we're trying to go for right here. But all this down here is wrong, so we'll have to fix that. What we can do is just remove the binary and octal like so, hit save, and then what this needs to say is ASCII right there. So there it is right there, ASCII. Okay, so we're going to leave this des and hex labels here, and we might relabel those in a little bit. But for now, we have kind of the beginnings here. This is a text box, so these you can't type into here, but you can type into those text boxes there and there. Okay, but what we want to do is turn this into a text area. So instead of having input type text, we want to say text area, and it's going to be like a bigger window. And then after this, what you can do is go text area, and here we are closing the text area tab. So there's the tag rather. There's the opening and closing. If I click save there, you can see I got a bigger text area, and I can even make it go this, up and down like that. I wonder if we can give it several rows. Let's try that. What if we said rows, ROWS equals, I don't know, maybe 20. and hit save. And you can see that it went way down like that. You see the ASCII is not aligned with the top. I can, it's not required that you do this, but you could say vertical align, v-align equals top on that table cell, and it'll pull it right up to the top like that. All right, if I'm hitting convert, it just says not a number. So that's really not the right code. We should be grabbing the code snippet from over here on the homework handout. There's a script like that, copy, and then come over here and go right there and paste this in. The subroutine is still called convert, so that's good. But the thing is that the control that it's clearing out, first of all, is text ASCII. So that means I need to label this text box right here. It has to have an ID of text ASCII. Right now it has hex. So let's overwrite that. Okay, oh, it says nan. Okay, not a number is what that means. All right, there we go. So we're going to clear that out. That's the first thing it does, is clear that field. Then what it does is it has a variable here. It really can be called text if you wanted to. And then it's going to read in from a control called characters. Right now our control is called des, which is the wrong name, so we're going to overwrite that. So here is our text characters control. Here is our text ASCII control. So we've read in the characters. Then what it's going to do is it's going to go through every one of these. This is a for next loop from right here down to right here. Okay, so from this open bracket to that open bracket there. That semicolon is kind of a wraparound over there. So maybe I can pull the lines over a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. That didn't really do anything. Maybe like that, get them all on the same row so you can get a good look at it. There's my for next loop right there. Oh, that just messed everything up, didn't it? And usually when that happens, you just make a big mess. So I'm going to hit Control Z until I get it all back like it was. And so sometimes accidents happen like that. Control Y redid what I did down here. All right, back to the beginning here. I'm clearing out this text box. I'm reading in the characters from this. I'm going through the characters one at a time. P, H, Y, and so forth. So from I is equal to 0, the 0th character, all the way to the length, the full length of the character set. And then what I'm doing is I'm pulling off each of the characters like that, and I'm converting them. See where it says right here? This right here is a code that's basically saying convert that single character over to ASCII. And then what you're going to do is just append it onto the value that's in this text box. You're just adding them on one right after the other. And then this part at the end, let's kind of put it on this line right here, is basically putting some extra spaces in there to make sure that you can see the ones and zeros separated from one another. All right, let's see if it works. So I hit save, then I hit convert, and nothing happens. So like I showed you in the other video, you can hit F12 and then try to figure out what happened. And you can see in this case it says DEC is not defined. So there is the line of code, and you know what I did? I relabeled that DEC to be called text. So I come in here and I relabeled this to be called text, and text right there. Guess I should have left it alone, right? Then hit save, close down the debug window, hit convert. I got my series of ones and zeros. So it starts off with a bunch of spaces, so I could, remove all these extra spaces between those single quotes like that. And then do the convert again. It's got the extra spaces trimmed out of there. So this space down here that we saw, this one right here, is the space in between each of the ASCII characters. All right, so I know this is a lot to take in. It means it's got some very rarely used JavaScript in here. You're seeing maybe a for next loop in JavaScript for the first time, but you'll get the hang of this and kind of learn the syntax in one language like Java, and then be able to apply it over in C. All right, so that's how you do that application. Remember to hit F12 to debug your application, and as soon as you click save, you have submitted this assignment, and the lab instructor will come in here and make sure that the conversion works for your application.